What is going on, everybody? We're trying out the Logitech webcam. I had this for a while. It's supposed to be the best one for streamers. We're also trying out this little microphone. Behind me, you can see a pile of Slaanesh pleasure pillows. And by that, I mean packing peanuts, because I'm basically living in a hoard of shipping supplies until I get my Kickstarter shipped out. You can also see Conan, the Kickstarter, and zombies, and there's my Necromunda gang up there, and some stuff on the shelves. But I wanted to talk to you about the new Slaanesh rules on the Warhammer community site, and I'm filming this on a live stream, which I've never done before. So I'm assuming I can upload this as a video for my channel, maybe. I'm not really sure. So maybe I just talk through some of these things, and then we see if we can upload it. If not, maybe nobody will ever see this. I don't know. I'm trying to learn how to do it once I move out of here and get a better organized space of my eBay, my paintbrush company, and my paint studio kind of thing, kind of separate from where I'm living. You know, all in the same, basically a one-bedroom apartment where the bedroom or the living room will be kind of the office and the other one will be kind of my living quarters is the plan. But let's get into it. Hopefully this will show up as a video for people to watch, and hopefully they like it. And of course, I cannot find the link to the War Scrolls. So that's not ideal. Bear with me. It's actually 2 people watching, it says. Say hello. Can anybody see this? We're gonna find out what's going on here. But I do have 2 viewers, I guess, if that's what that little thing up there means. And this is probably a catastrophe. Hey, there's Jorvik Gaming. Can you hear me? I'm trying to learn how to live stream. I'm going to be the next, I don't know, live streamer. Let's see if he can hear me. Hey, all right, well, I guess live stream works. If you know Mr. Jorvik Gaming, if you're aware if these can be uploaded as videos after the fact, that would be super cool and super helpful. If not, I'll figure it out when I end this. I just wanted to talk about some Slaanesh stuff coming up. I have constantly been brainstorming a 40k Slaanesh army with 60 Seekers of Slaanesh. It kind of started as basically a thought on how to maybe play Age of Sigmar and be maybe more fun for me of not moving around as many little 30-man units. I could just have like a couple big units of cavalry, and that would be the majority of my army. But I'm not really looking for a complete horde, even though if you play demons, it's kind of a horde. So we'll have to see how that works out. But what I wanted to do was go on to the community site and see the 40k War Scrolls for the Slaanesh. Okay, there we go. I found them. Everybody stay calm. I found them. Yeah, 60 Seekers. I think I own 40-ish, including the metal ones. I own quite a few. I actually just picked up an extra 15 off eBay because they were going pretty cheap, like $17 for 5. So I bought a couple packs of them off eBay because people are breaking up those like we get Start Collectings and Wrath and Glory box sets. So it's still another project that I'd be quite a long ways from ever completing, but should be cool. I was thinking my idea on the 60 Seekers of Slaanesh army. They're 15 points apiece, so it's going to be 300 points a unit. So 900 points, basically half your army. About probably 930 or so with the banner upgrade and the musician, maybe 950, 60. But the risk would be if it is like you only win if you go first type army, because they can all pretty much make it across the board first turn and charge. So those armies aren't really that fun though, if you figure you're basically determining the outcome at the first turn. So there's probably a sweet spot somewhere in there. 15. Yeah, are you running them in 40K or are you running them in Sigmar? I was trying. So the thought in my head actually developed before I developed my hatred of Age of Sigmar 2.0, and it was just a thought I had of maybe trying to kind of energize myself on the game, but I'm just not feeling that game at all. But so it's kind of moved over into 40K, and there's a lot of cool new stuff coming out for Slaanesh, which I will be pre-ordering it's about almost 2:40 a.m. here. So I'll probably be pre-ordering it in about 12 hours, 10 hours maybe when I go back to the game store. Let's go through some of this stuff here. The Keeper of Secrets. I'm really curious if this microphone is even what's picking up the sound or if it's my webcam, but whatever, I'll just keep holding on to it. So if you can't see the chat, Jorvik said, yep, he's running 15 Seekers and 40K. First time I used them, I accidentally ruined a game with a friend by getting all turn 1 charges off and trapped his Mechanicus gunline in a corner. Yeah, I play Adeptus Mechanicus, and usually I've had no luck whatsoever against like orcs because they'll jump like 30 boys right on top of you, and it's really hard to deal with that for like a gun line without a lot of kind of melee depending on what you took. And then on turn 2 there's more, and this would be the same with the Seekers. Basically 60 Seekers, all of them very likely to get across the board, moving 14 plus 1 run plus 1 charge. They run and charge and they re-roll charges. And I think you would kind of pin them in and hopefully wrap into enough things that they're not going to be able to retreat and shoot back. And so, yes, it might be strong, but it also might not be fun to play or play against. And then the other thing, it might be you go second and, they're only toughness 3 with 2 wounds, and they might just shoot them off the board and you waste a whole bunch of points. And they run away because they're, they still have to take bravery tests or whatever, morale tests. Although there would be leadership 10 with the Keeper, I believe. The new Keeper, I wonder what everybody's thoughts are on that. We haven't seen the full set of rules yet. The models are amazing. I have the Creature Caster model, so I'm probably only going to buy 1, although I really want to buy 2. But I think I'm just going to buy 1 and make the special character 1, and I'll use the Creature Caster Pincer Demon as my generic Keeper, but it's going to have a move 14, 2+2+, weapon skill, strength 6, toughness 7, 16 wounds, 6 attacks, leadership 10, 6+ save. The weapons, the claws, it gets number of additional attacks. Hold on. Each time this model fights, it can make a number of additional attacks with this weapon equal to the number shown in its damage table. So it's going to start out at 4 extra attacks with the claws. And those claws are strength 6, AP 3, 3 damage. And its base weapon with the sword is strength 8, AP 3, 3 damage. And if you take a wound from it, you are -1 to hit for the rest of your life, which is kind of cool. I generally don't like units that basically are saying they're going to lose the fight. So it's like, if you take a wound from this, you're going to be -1 to hit for the rest of... You're going to be -1 to hit for the rest of the game, but you're probably going to defeat the keeper. Like, why do I want to charge in and die and only give you -1 to hit? I'd rather just win that fight. Another thing, I guess, is if you don't kill the whatever you're fighting in combat, it's less likely to kill you back. We got 3 people in the live stream. My very first inaugural live stream. How exciting. If you guys want to say something in the chat, feel free to join the conversation. We're just talking about Slaanesh, and this is mostly just a test for me on this little Logitech webcam, and seeing how these live stream videos work after the fact, like if they can just be uploaded onto the channel, or maybe this is just a fun learning experience. Probably go for about 20 minutes or so. Curious too, can you guys hear the hum of the fan in my computer? Because I can hear it for sure, and I don't know if that's something you guys could hear, because that would be something, if I was going to be doing a more professional live stream, I would have to figure out. Let's see. Jorvik Gaming says, I would have no idea how to deal with 60 Seekers with most of my armies. Salamanders with lots of flamers might do okay, but my Blood Angels and Drukhari would definitely struggle. The new KOS looks incredible, but I am worried about getting it across the board without getting shot to bits if you don't go first. Yay, it's my good friend the Weather Pig. Look at the Weather Pig's here. Says, good day. They should auto-upload when you stop. That's pretty cool. Thank you, Weather Pig. He's pretty cool. Go check him out. Subscribe to his channel. The 60 Seekers, so they would have 4 attacks apiece. The thing that makes them really strong, I think the sweet spot's probably around 40 if you really wanted to go for the tactic of just smashing right into their front line with a lot of models and a lot of wounds first turn. And the reason you could do 60 for sure, but 40, obviously saves you about 300 points. And we can hear it, but it could be worse. Okay, cool. So yeah, I'll have to figure out how to make that quiet. It's kind of like an old gaming computer. But what I was going to say is what makes the Seekers pretty powerful is they're on big bases because they're cavalry, and all the Slaanesh buffs only have to, it's if the unit is within 6 or whatever. So you can daisy chain back just like 3 models, and that would be probably about 12, 15 extra inches back. So all your heroes could be in the middle of the battlefield and buff those units that are fighting first turn with like +1 strength from the Herald, reroll 1s from the Demon Prince, especially that new Demon Prince guy. So also there's I believe a spell that like gives a unit -1 attack, some kind of -1 to hit thing. They're special once per game banner, reroll all hits, so it's pretty cool. Give me 1 second, guys. I gotta let my kitty cat in the room here. I have the door locked, so just give me 1 second. Oh man, I'm sitting on a tiny bed, basically in the spot where the cat likes to sleep, but what can you do? She might jump up here. We'll see. Hey, I got 5 people watching. That's crazy. I didn't think anybody would even turn this on. To be honest, I'm not a big live stream person as far as viewing them, because I always feel like I missed half of what was going on. But the people watching right now, they're lucky because not a whole lot has been going on. We're just talking about Slaanesh units. I would like to figure out how to do like those, I think they're called Google Hangouts or whatever, which sound kind of fun, and get a few people and we all talk about something while we paint. That'll be in the future once I move to a better spot that I'm not living in a horde of trying to fulfill a Kickstarter. Let's see what we got going on here. When I use Seekers, one thing I did notice is how easy it is to wrap around enemy units and lock them in combat, because the cavalry should. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, was the Seekers, they're so fast. They're on big bases with 2-inch gaps between models, plus about like a 3-inch long base. Their ability to like wrap through and like daisy chain back for buffs or like buff auras without being anywhere. The whole bulk of the unit doesn't have to be anywhere near the actual character. Because let's say if your character has a 6-inch aura, and then that touches one seeker, and then his base is 3 inches, so that's 9. 2-inch gap, 11. Another seeker, 14. 2-inch gap, 16. And then another seeker would be all the way up to 19. So basically, you could daisy chain like 4 seekers back to your deployment zone and get all the buffs, but assuming they all move forward with them. Yeah, the new keeper, though, on that real quick, keeping it alive, I don't know how you do that. Maybe you deep strike them in, or my thought was maybe some of the units that kill them right away will get nerfed, or possibly maybe he has some kind of survivability that they haven't shown us yet. I'm assuming he doesn't because all the other ones really don't. Nobody really uses the Lord of Change. Nobody uses the Bloodthirsters. Sometimes you do see the Nurgle ones, but that's because they have the Feel No Pain. The Feel No Pain save. So, sorry, my cat is being crazy. They have the Great Unclean one has the Feel No Pain save, so he can actually absorb quite a bit of punishment. Another thing I was thinking is if you did like 40 Seekers and say a Knight Gallant or something along those lines, maybe a Knight Crusader, you have a big scary target, or say a Keeper of Secrets and a Knight Crusader maybe, or a Knight Gallant or whatever. Now it's like, sure, they can shoot the Keeper of Secrets, but who wants to let a Knight Gallant run through their army? Nobody. Right? So I think you're going to have to probably keep them alive by like target saturation, or possibly deep strike them in, or maybe just don't take them. Hopefully they turn out to be good because the model looks so cool. Mr. Lats3 said, got wrecked by Magnus in a friendly game yesterday. Feels bad, man. JPEG. Still won by victory points, though. Good job. I'm not worried about Magnus at all. Depending on my army, but mostly I've only played against him with my AdMech, and they're so good at killing like big, tough things. Like the AdMech are just epically strong guns. So if you're like a high-costed model, the AdMech, as in my experience, I enjoy that very much. Anything from like Space Marine on up to Terminator, whatever, any elite infantry, a big guy like a Magnus, Mortarion, a Knight, the AdMech can just smash right through them. So I'm not sure what army are you playing there, Lats? I guess if I was playing like my Death Watch Primaris, which I pretty much just get smashed every time I play him, but I'm just trying to keep up with all the new Primaris stuff. Yeah, I think I'd have quite a bit of trouble with Magnus. But on the plus side, I don't know, he seems pretty balanced. I think that's one thing I like about 40K is even the crazy stuff. The only problem I really feel like in the game right now, 2 problems. 1 or 3, let's say 3, but one of them is about to be fixed. Number 1 is the Inari. They shouldn't be so obviously better than like the normal Eldar, like double shooting and all that nonsense from an index, but the White Dwarf's going to squash them. I read the leaks for that Inari changes, and they're basically not going to be what they are currently. The other thing I have a problem with is the Castellan is obviously too good for his points, or he's too defensive for his points. There's something not quite right about him for him to be showing up so much. And the third and absolute worst thing I think in the game is a clear exploit on the rules of people spamming Eldar and Dark Eldar flyers and using them to block in the opponent's army because you can't move underneath something flying in the air. And that's just people clearly kind of banking on exploiting the rules. So it is fair, I guess, as far as you can do it, but they basically fly a bunch of flyers forward that block you in, and they're Eldar flyers, so they're really hard to, I guess, force to crash, sort of thing. Although if you had 60 Seekers, you could probably fill up the board pretty good, and maybe they wouldn't have a place to land. I don't know. But they'd probably just kill everything anyway. Mr. Latz plays... Oh, let's go back up. Jorvik said, nice, I still haven't got a solid plan on how to deal with Magnus. He's such a pain in the ass. Part of the reason I'm worried about the new Keeper Secrets is have run Scarbrand a few times, and he has the same defense as Keeper Secrets, but also 3 of armor and still dice quite easy. Yeah, I don't know. I think you maybe just have to deep strike him in. Hold on, I gotta let this cat out. Now she's just getting annoying. And that's why we don't live stream with the silly kitty, I guess. Yeah, so you can deep strike him in. Obviously, you're not, it's unlikely to make the charge unless he has some kind of bonus to his charge. But that second turn, so picture this: you have 60 Seekers of Slaanesh, or 40, or whatever number you decide on. They all charge forward. They're basically all in combat first turn. Second turn, you still hopefully have quite a few of them alive. All the Demonettes are now about to make it across the board. And the Keeper of Secrets has deep striked in. I think your opponent might have some problems on just like shooting the Keeper. And also at this point, the Fiends of Slaanesh, maybe, they possibly can make a first turn charge with a 14-inch move run and charge. But the second turn, they're going to get there for sure. So if you start tagging vehicles with those non-flying vehicles with the Fiends, they can't retreat. So that could be kind of interesting. I haven't actually ran Scarbrand, but I had a really nice Scarbrand, and they shared I still have them. I painted one up, and they shared my pictures on the GW Instagram of him, so that was kind of cool. I felt special, like a special snowflake. So Lat says he plays Necrons. I tried out a silly melee list, though. Oh, yeah, Necrons are... I've mostly played Necrons with silly armies, so I don't have like a normal review on playing them with like my AdMech, which I'm much better with them. I've played them a lot. I know them. I've played against the Necrons with like an all Scion army, and I played against them with my Deathwatch Primaris army, and not a lot of luck for me usually against them. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people say they're in a bad spot, but then everybody gravitates towards like playing the exact same list that went 4-1 or 5-1 at LVO or whatever, almost the same thing. And nobody seems to even bother trying like the other units in the book. So good on you for playing a melee list, because I've never seen anybody play the melee Necron stuff besides the Wraiths. But if you use those little sword and board guys, or the big thing I wanted to actually run when I was doing Necrons, I ended up selling them, but was the Death Marks. I wanted to run like Death Marks and Doom Scythes, and this was before that guy made everybody understand that the Doom Scythe is pretty cool. Everybody thought they sucked, but I just think the Necron Flyer and the Death Marks are my two favorite looking. But I ended up selling all the Necrons off, so I got so much crap. Like this. My paint desk is over there, but I don't even want to show you what's going on in this room. It's quite the horde. See, Jorvik Gaming says, I genuinely think Drukhari homunculus units are undercosted at the moment. I played them a lot, and my friends have no ways to deal with 10 grotesques with a vector mask relic plus a backline. Backline of Talos paint engines. I haven't actually played against those kind of ITC Drukhari lists. The only one I played against in an ITC event was mostly like flyers with the Forge World, like Necron or Dark Eldar shoe. looking thing, and you could pack it with like a ton of D6 damage guys, and it had a lot of shots. So I haven't played against like all the Talos and stuff, but I'd be curious on that one. And he said, on the upside, Skybrand has killed an Orc Stompo, which is 3 times his point cost in a single fight phase. I expect Keeper Secrets to have similar scary damage potential. Yeah, it looks like on the screen here. I wish I knew how to show a dual screen, but if it hit and wounded, I guess, with all 6 attacks, that would be 18 damage. And then all 4 of the others would be another 12, so that's 30 damage. That's a lot of damage. And it hits on 2s with no degrade. It always hits on 2s. Some of the attack, well, both attack profiles actually do go down, but potentially 30 damage hitting on 2s. Pretty cool. Rerolling 1s near some of the stuff. It's also got the Sinistros hand. If it kills any model in the fight phase other than vehicles, it heals D3 lost wounds. I don't think that's going to be its problem. Be curious what the whip does. If you go switch your GW website over to New Zealand, which is in like tomorrow basically, you can see all the Age of Sigmar War Scrolls for... can you hear the cat scratching at the door now? You can hear, or you can go check out all the Age of Sigmar War Scrolls on the New Zealand Games Workshop, and the whip that the Age of Sigmar Keeper can get, it targets an enemy's weapon, and I believe it gives them -1 to hit with that weapon. It's kind of like a disarming ability. So I'll be curious what they decide to do for 40k. Usually the rules are kind of similar. But the Soul Piercer girl, the special character keeper, her spear is strength ×2, so she's strength 12 or 14, I guess, near a herald. I believe they do fake math and add and then multiply for some reason in 40k according to the designer notes or FAQs. AP4 D6 damage, assuming that one has the same 6 attacks, that could be up to like 36 damage. And if you roll 6 to wound against a character, it's a flat 6 damage attack. And she is -1 to hit and wound in melee, which is amazing. Sileski, the Vengeful Allegiance. This one is awesome. I'm not super fanboy, I guess. I'm a fanboy of all GW products and models, but except for Age of Sigmar 2 right now. But I'm not sure I like this thing jumping off the top of them just from a transporting aspect, but it does look cool. This thing's going to be a beast. Like, it's going to be amazing. Let's see. Actually, in the kit, the Keeper of Secrets has a shield option. +1 invulnerable save, or -1 hit from shooting, perhaps. Maybe a bit optimistic there. Yeah, the named character has the shield, and I'm wondering if it's also just an option for the Keeper to just wield the shield. Hopefully, like a 4-up invuln or something. Because if it had a 4-up invuln, actually, I don't remember if they FAQ'd it or changed it, but the Warp Surge stratagem that gives a unit +1 invuln save, is that to a maximum of 4 or 3? Because if it could get a 4, you could do that and give it a 3-up invuln. Now it's very strong. Just looked at the price for the new Keeper. I don't usually complain about the price, but I'm a little disheartened. Yeah, well, I don't know. It's so cool looking. I've been waiting for this thing for... If I saved $1 for every day I waited for the new Keeper of Secrets, I'd probably be able to buy 6 of them. So I think that's not so bad for me. Also, I think the new Grit and Clean one was $140 also. So Warp Surge caps out at 4+. Okay, so Warp Surge is not helpful. That new Demon Prince guy, so he's going to be in every single Slaanesh Demon army, and maybe every army you ever see for the rest of your life, because he's movement 9, weapon skill 2, ballistic skill 2, strength 4, toughness 6, 8 wounds, so can't be targeted, 8 attacks, 9 leadership, 4+ save. He actually has an armor save, which is surprising. And one of the big deals with this one is it's supposedly a Demon Prince and a Herald, which means it's going to be giving off both auras of reroll 1s to hit and +1 strength to Slaanesh demons. And it's a character that moves 9 that could easily run and keep up with the tail end of the Slaanesh Daisy Chain Seeker units, giving them both +1 strength and reroll 1s to hit. And, run and charge or whatever. It's going to have the Loki probably. And its attacks are just crazy good, which I think is fair because I used to run the Forge World Keeper's Secrets with the Warp Surge and a 2+ info in combat. I don't really play with Forge World. I've been looking into it a little bit, but I've never bought any of it to play with. So I'm not sure if I'll do that. But I was even thinking with this Slaanesh Demon Army, like maybe adding in some nasty Forge World Chaos Shooting unit if they exist. Just something to have some kind of shooting, because if you play 40k as an all melee army, usually you suffer quite a bit because you're missing, like, the game's basically a shooting game and you're missing that if you don't have any shooting. This Selexi XC guy, Sexy XC, it does have a D6 shot with the whip, but it gets to swing the axe 8 times. That's strength 7, 8 if it has that Herald aura. Strength 8 -3, 3 damage if it has that Herald aura, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s if it has the Demon Prince aura. And then it gets to attack again with 8d3 attacks at strength 5, AP1 if it has the Herald aura, and also hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s if it has the Demon Prince aura. And so for some reason I thought this was a rumor, but it does say actually in the article, of course, as a combination of Herald and Demon Prince, they also combine the Locust and Prince of Slaanesh aura abilities for rerolls and hit +1 strength. So yeah, I don't know why I was saying if they have it, they clearly do. So that thing's going to be amazing. It's going to be in every demon army. One super valuable piece of information I got from switching my Games Workshop over to New Zealand time zone so I could look at that mirror thingy. What is that thing called? Epitome? The contorted epitome, or epitome, epitome probably. I was curious what the heck this thing was, and in Sigmar it actually has like a movement characteristic and like wounds and stuff, so it is a actual unit that's going to move and fight, and it's just kind of like a flying fighting unit. Actually, I'm not even sure if it flies, but it adds 1 to Psychic Test and Deny the Witch Test, which is cool. One thing that's interesting on that is the one terrible spell for Slaanesh where you roll 2 dice. I think you cast it, and then whatever your casting roll is maybe versus leadership. Let me check real quick. It's really pretty crappy because everybody's leadership is pretty high, so the average feels much lower than maybe just smiting somebody. Also, what do you guys think? Are the demons getting a new codex, like ASAP? Because there's going to be like 8 Slash units floating around outside of the codex, and I don't see GW letting that happen. So should I be selling this book on eBay this weekend and just waiting with my fingers crossed that the Slaanesh book will, or not Slaanesh, just a Demon 2.0 book will be coming out with all these Slaanesh units in it? Possibly some changes to stratagems, maybe extra stratagems, who knows? The spell is warp charge value 6. If manifested, roll 2d6. Okay, never mind. So plus 1 cast that does not help you actually get more wounds from that. Obviously, giving minus leadership would. But this thingy, +1 to cast and deny, and 2+ ignore mortal wounds, which is pretty sweet. And then it says, if enemy units within 6 of any models with this ability, Horrible Fascination, which makes me assume there might be a relic or something you can give Horrible Fascination, right? Because it says any models with this ability, unless it's assuming you can take more than one of these, I don't know, is chosen to fall back. Your opponent must first roll a 3d6 the unit can only fall back if the total is less than the highest leadership characteristic. Now, I think on Games Workshop New Zealand, let's switch over there real quick. I know you can't see my screen. I don't know how to do that because I'm a dummy. But let me. So if you don't know this pro tip, switching your Games Workshop page to New Zealand means you're going to see everything a day early, basically, because they live in the future. So we're going to go to the epitome. It looks like it's going to be about $50. Looks pretty cool. And you can actually pull up all this is the Age of Sigmar scroll, but in Age of Sigmar it moves 12 and it has some attacks and psychic powers. So assuming that carries over a bit to 40k, it's going to move 10 to 14 potentially. Cast psychic powers, give buffs to itself and friendly units for psychic powers, hurt your enemy's psychic powers, and hopefully it has some interesting psychic powers. And if it moves really fast, then maybe it can get over there for that ignore fallback thing, which would be super strong with the Seekers because of the fact that they're going to be there first turn. Yeah, there's another kind of, I don't know, like crazy combo or whatever, but I guess my thought was if you ran a Gallant with the Chaos Demons, the opponent's just going to shoot at the Gallant first because it's a Knight Gallant. But in reality, that would be a mistake for them because the Chaos Gallant can't charge first turn. So I don't know if that's worth it. But another thing that's interesting is they don't have the Harp player. I know I have her rules in the Wrath and Rapture box, but it's currently buried somewhere. But I can't remember what her 40k rules were, but I'm pretty sure it was along the lines of if you rolled doubles, you perils, which is going to be awesome. If somebody rolls, say, double threes, they get -1 from that mirror thing, the epitome. They fail their 6-up needed to cast, and they perils, and then because it's a demon, the demon stratagem for 1 command point makes them take 2d3 mortal wounds. So I think the anti-psychic abilities are going to be something, but when I really think about the army getting smashed and being unplayable, would be like basically Eye Guard armies can put up so much shooting with like Punisher Gatling flyers and Land Raiders, Wyvern, and plus just the amount of las gun fire because these guys are still only toughness 3, so first rank, second rank fire. Just the volume of shooting would be so punishing to the Slaanesh demon army, and it's such a popular army. And this would probably be something like Slaanesh is my favorite, and although I don't really base my opinions or what I build on taking it to events, but I would probably like to take it to an event, but I wouldn't want it to be too unfun or too strong to play it outside of events because I have to do that much, much more. So I don't know on that one. Hopefully, let me know what you think on. Do you think Games Workshop's coming out with Demon Codex 2.0 like ASAP within a couple weeks? Because I think it's pretty possible. I just don't see, like, we got Keeper, the special character Keeper, the Harp, the Fiends, the Mirror, the Terrain feature, assuming it has 40k rules, the new Demon Prince, the new Mask. That's 8 units. There will be 8 units for that army that are not in the Codex. That, to me, seems like it would justify a new book being released. Because Chaos got Lord Discordant, Havocs, Chaos Space Marines. I don't know if they probably got some kind of update. Dark Apostle, Abaddon. Oh, and then all the stuff in Shadow Spear, the Caster and the Executioner. and the little spider thing. So what's that, like 8 units basically, and they got a new book right away. So also that would explain why maybe after the Fiends and Harp Player came out, they didn't release a new book. Although we didn't know at the time then that any new books would be getting released, like 2.0 versions. And slightly off topic of Slaanesh, but the Space Marines are clearly getting a new book at some point, and I honestly think they're holding off on that because there's probably more units to come from just what we saw in Shadow Spear. So it looks like that's about all we got for the new leak. Not really leaks, they just Warhammer community stuff. So I think we're going to wrap it up here, guys. It's about 3:15 in the morning. I'm going to try to go to bed before 5 like I normally do because I need to kind of get my hours a little more normal, although it is fun to basically exist in the nighttime. You get a lot more painting done and random YouTube comments. Oh, and we did this for 41 minutes. So hopefully everyone that stuck around had somewhat of an enjoyment from this one. Where are you at? 11 a.m. Are you in England? Maybe? It's 3 a.m. here, so it's probably my bedtime. I got to put the packing peanuts basically where I'm sitting so I can go to sleep and go figure out why that cat is acting crazy 8 at night. Where are you at, Weather Pig? Are you in Australia? New Zealand? Are you in New Zealand? Are you in Futureland? Nice. All right, guys. Sweet. We went super international here. I don't know if Lavik is still in the building with his melee Necrons. Or Lats, not Lavik. Lats 3. Anyway, take care, guys. Thank you so much for subscribing and hanging out. If you haven't, go comment on my Nagash giveaway video. I think he's... I don't know where I put him, but I thought he was right down here. Oh well, comment on the Nagash giveaway if you haven't, so you can potentially win when we hit 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting pretty close. We're at like 940, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to be shipping my Kickstarter starting next week, so that's kind of, I've been working so hard on trying to get this done early, and I'm not anywhere near done, but I'll be able to ship some of it next week, so I'm going to try to get a head start on shipping, which means probably less YouTube content, but hopefully once we get that shipped, get moved into a new spot and set up kind of a permanent YouTube studio situation, we'll be able to start cranking out the painting videos, because that's really what I want to do. Mostly focus on painting videos with a mixture of these kind of like 40K or gaming talk type videos, and I really would like to do some kind of hangout videos, however we do that. So take care, everyone. Talk to you soon. Hey, oh, you're too late. Heck, you're too late, man. We're going to bed. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. We had a good time. Please subscribe.